What up? I'm Bea and welcome to my channel where we talk about all things true crime and current events. Today I've got 3 news stories for you in the true crime world, and one of them is very serious. I am giving a trigger warning now. It is a pretty upsetting story, and I've seen a lot of people talking about it on Twitter, but not so much outside of that, so I thought it was important to talk about. So we are going to be going over that story, then we've got a continuation on something we've been talking about for the past few weeks, and finally something a little bit more lighthearted to round this whole thing out. Without further ado, let's go ahead and read some news. Father and son arrested for the murder of Ahmaud Arbery, the jogger allegedly chased down and shot. The 25-year-old's death has sparked outrage across the country, and this is from a few days ago. There he is. There's Ahmaud, the man who was shot. And I don't know how much of a backstory they're going to go into on this, but Ahmaud Arbery was running, jogging through his neighborhood when 2 white men, you see Ahmaud is black, saw him, said that he looked like somebody who had been who was a suspect of several robberies in the area. They each grabbed a firearm, chased him down in their car, were yelling at him. This ended up in some sort of altercation where the men got out of the car. They were physically struggling with him, and they shot and killed him. And this happened back in February, I believe, and nothing has happened. Nothing's come of it. Prior to this, they were not in custody. They did not have charges brought against them. I don't know if they were still doing investigation, but there's a video of this happening, so I think you can pretty much hold them on on some sort of crime. They ended up killing him, so, it seems like that would be a pretty easy thing to get an arrest warrant for, but who knows? Let's go ahead and get into the story. A father and son who are allegedly caught on video shooting a jogger in Georgia have been arrested more than 2 months after the incident. Gregory and Travis McMichael were both arrested by the Georgia Bureau Investigation and booked into the Glynn County Jail, the GBI announced Thursday. Both Gregory, 64, and Travis, 34, were charged with murder and aggravated assault. Ahmaud Arbery, 25, was shot and killed in broad daylight on February 23rd after being chased down in a suburban neighborhood street in Brunswick. The McMichaels confronted Arbery with 2 firearms after they saw him exercising, and Travis fatally shot him. The case received renewed attention this week when video footage surfaced of the murder, showing 2 men struggling as 3 gunshots ring out. Arbery tries to run away before falling to the ground. The GBI investigation was not requested until May 5th by the District Attorney Tom Durden after 2 other district attorneys recused themselves from the case. That same day, the Glynn County Police Department asked the GBI to look into the video of the shooting. I mean, are these 2 people, connected to the DA's office or what? Because this seems like a pretty clear case of you murdered someone after you chased them down because you thought they looked like somebody who potentially was robbing places. You didn't feel like you could let the police handle it. You couldn't say, hey, here's exactly where he's at. He looks like this suspect. No, you wanted to take it into your own hands, and there's video of it happening. So I don't know why two people refused to prosecute it and recused themselves. Attorneys for the McMichaels have not been identified, but Gregory previously told CBS that he had no comment while the case was under investigation. Arbery's mother, Wanda Cooper Jones, told Good Morning America on Thursday that she may never watch the gruesome footage. Honestly, she can do whatever she wants, but I can only imagine. I haven't watched it. I don't think I will. I don't know. No matter what happened, no matter if he fought back or if he turned around and told him, get out, let's fight. No matter what is in that footage, these 2 men still instigated it. And they brought their guns. They weren't just trying to say, oh, we'll follow him until the police arrive so we can tell them exactly where he's at. They brought their guns. Tell me what the intention was in that. I don't need to see the video. And I don't think his mom needs to see it either. I don't think I'll ever be in a mental state where I can actually watch the video, she said. I had others watch and share what they saw, and that was enough. Arbery's death has sparked outrage across the country, with celebrities like LeBron James speaking out in support of the young jogger. We're literally hunted every day, every time we step foot outside the comfort of our homes, the Los Angeles Lakers star wrote on Twitter Thursday. Can't even go for a jog, man. Like, WTF, are you kidding me? No, man, for real, are you kidding me? James continued, offering his condolences to Arbery's family. I'm sorry, Ahmaud, rest in paradise, and my prayers and blessings sent to the heavens above to your family. A virtual run has been set up to show support for Arbery on Friday night, which would have been his 26th birthday. Organizers of the run are asking the public to do a 2.23-mile run, jogger, walk, the 2.23 commemorating the day he died. Those who participate are encouraged to post on social media with the hashtag #IRunWithAhmaud. The investigation is still ongoing, and anyone with information is asked to contact the GBI at 1-800-597-TIPS or 1-800-597-8477. As always, with stuff like that, I will go ahead and put the phone number and any other information you might need in a pinned comment in case you are in the area, you saw anything, you know anything about it. Feel free to leave credible tips on that tip line. The next story is another serious one, but it's something that we've talked about a few times before, and so as new things come out, I do want to keep you updated. It's about Lori Vallow. If you have no idea who she is or why she's being talked about, there will be a card up here to my first video about her. You can feel free to go check that out. I give basically her backstory and the backstory of some others who are involved in this case. But if you're all caught up, stay right here because we're going to get into the newest information. In first TV interview, mother and sister of Lori Vallow claim she hasn't harmed her missing kids. During the interview with CBS, Janice Cox said she spoke to one of her daughter's missing children briefly on October 1st after his September disappearance. Okay, that's still October, and we are in May now. The mother of Lori Vallow, the Idaho mom under investigation in connection with the disappearance of her 2 children, believes that her grandchildren are still alive. I'm positive beyond any doubt that she hasn't harmed those kids, Janice Cox said in her first TV interview with CBS News' Jonathan Viglotti. She has invested her whole life in those children, so we know there's another whole side to this. We don't know what it is, but we know her. Yeah, you know her. If you know her, you know she's sketchy. Like, so many people around her die. You know that something is up. Something is up. How does her soon-to-be ex-husband get killed by your brother because his brother was defending himself when your brother didn't have any injuries, when there had been no complaints of domestic violence, when the kids were home? How does that happen? Please explain it to me. Her brother claimed that her ex-husband Charles hit him in the head with a baseball bat, and yet there were no injuries reported when the police got there? I don't buy it. You know she's up to something. Questioned about whether they'd asked Vallow where the kids were, Vallow's sister, Summer Shiflett, said her sister couldn't tell them because she's in jail. She's not. Everything's recorded, so she's not going to tell us. She can't discuss anything about the case. Vallow is currently being held on $1 million bail in Idaho's Madison County Jail on felony charges stemming from the months-long disappearance of her children, Tylee Ryan, 17, and 7-year-old Joshua J.J. Vallow. The children have been the subject of a search since JJ's grandparents reported him missing in November. The last known image of Tylee dates back to a September 8th day trip the family made to Yellowstone National Park with Vallow. The 2 kids and their uncle Alex Cox, according to the court filing in Madison County that led to Vallow's arrest. Alex Cox, who was the one who killed her soon-to-be ex-husband Charles, was also found dead in December. Vallow's adopted son JJ was last seen September 23rd at his school in Rexburg, where Vallow and the 2 kids had moved in August from Arizona after the death of her husband Charles Vallow. This is wrong. People says that it's JJ's father. Charles wasn't JJ's father. They adopted him. Charles was JJ's great uncle, and Charles's sister asked Lori and Charles to adopt JJ. Just putting that out there. She subsequently withdrew JJ from school, telling the principal she wanted to homeschool him. During the interview with CBS, Cox told Vigliotti that she spoke to JJ briefly on October 1st after his alleged September disappearance. I talked to him, she said. He just takes the phone and he knows. You know, he knows who we are. What? I talked to him, she said. He just takes the phone and he knows. You know, he knows who we are. Okay. And did he say where he was? Like, what does that have to do with anything? Shiflett claims her sister has been unjustly persecuted. No, she has not. Her kids are missing and she won't say where they are or what happened to them or act like she's concerned in any way, shape, or form. I have to see my family slaughtered on the news every day, she said. This mob mentality of calling for Lori to just be hung in a public square basically is what it feels like. Vallow is married to Chad Daybell, a publisher of religious doomsday-themed books. The couple married in November, 2 weeks after the death of Daybell's previous wife, Tammy, a death authorities later deemed suspicious last month. The Idaho Attorney General's office confirmed it was working with authorities in Fremont County, where Daybell and Tammy were living when Tammy died, to investigate Vallow and Daybell for possible murder, attempted murder, and conspiracy charges. Previously, Vallow was married to Charles Vallow, whose 2019 shooting, death by Vallow's brother, Alex Cox, has also drawn renewed scrutiny, as has the December 2019 death of Alex Cox himself. Vallow allegedly believes she is a god assigned to carry out the work of the 144,000 at Christ's second coming in July 2020. Once again, I will say, it's coming up, so get ready. Sorry, back to the article. And that if Charles got in her way of her mission, she would murder him. According to a court filing by Charles Vallow, who was estranged from his wife at the time he was shot, with Cox claiming it was self-defense during an altercation in Vallow's home. Cox was not charged. So, there's literally nothing new here. You can say, I talked to him yesterday, but if you can't say anything significant, it doesn't matter. If you can't say, I talked to him yesterday, he says he's fine, the last thing he remembers doing is this, or the last time they were outside is this. Like, saying that you talked to him and he knows who you are, okay, I don't understand how that tracks with them being safe and being unharmed, like how that helps promote that idea. You can literally just say anything. You could say, yeah, I talked to him yesterday. But if you don't know where they are, and if Lori won't say anything, I don't buy it. I really, truly don't. And the most infuriating thing to me about this, I've talked about it before, is the fact that she won't say anything. She's not saying, like, I did this, and this is why, and I'm proud of it, and the world is ending, and so this is why I did it. Or, they're safe, or someone took my kids. Like, she has not taken any sort of approach other than letting her religious beliefs speak for themselves. Like, there's court documents from Charles because he was planning on divorcing her. So there's kind of some religious mania in there. They've got some religious writings from Chad's side. Her current husband, they've got some testimony from people in their family who are like, yeah, it was getting a little bit weird over there. They've got this stuff, but there's nowhere in there where there was any sort of plan to deal with these kids. And so it's really, really infuriating to me that she's just not saying anything. And she hasn't said anything. And when this trial finally starts, like when they get everything together and actually start prosecuting her, I'm going to have my eyes on it nonstop. You can count on that. This really didn't give us anything new. Kind of disappointing, but as more information comes out, I'll definitely be keeping up with it, and I will keep you updated as well. Okay, and now for our third story, which is a little bit less dark, but also kind of important to talk about. Alison Roman apologizes to Chrissy Teigen for flippant, careless remarks about Cravings business. Alison Roman previously claimed that her Chrissy... This is just riddled with grammatical errors today. Alison Roman previously claimed that Chrissy Teigen's website Cravings was a, quote, content farm. New York Times columnist Alison Roman is apologizing to Chrissy Teigen for recently making flippant remarks about the star's cooking website Cravings by Chrissy Teigen. Earlier this week, Roman, 34, called out Teigen's success in the food world in an article published by The New Consumer, telling the outlet Like, what Chrissy Teigen has done is so crazy to me. She had a successful cookbook, and then it was like, boom, line at Target, boom. Now she has an Instagram page that has over 1 million followers, where it's just like people running a content farm for her. Roman also said in the interview, that horrifies me, and it's not something that I ever want to do. I don't aspire to be that, but like, who's laughing now because she's made a ton of money? After Teigen shared that Roman's remarks hit her hard on Twitter on Friday, Roman apologized to the mother of 2. And here's the tweets. Hi, at Chrissy Teigen. I sent an email, but also wanted to say here that I'm genuinely sorry I caused you pain with what I said, she tweeted. I shouldn't have used you/your business or Marie's as an example to show what I wanted for my own career. It was flippant, careless, and I'm so sorry. Yeah, she also threw Marie Kondo in there talking about, oh, it's just this massive, like, full throttle kind of production of content and different avenues of promoting your business or making money, you know, kind of building an empire, which typically is kind of seen, maybe not by everybody, but as a good thing to create something that can then be built upon and built upon and built upon. So you're having all these different revenue streams. It's good business sense, essentially, but that's besides the point. Roman continued, being a woman who takes down other women is absolutely not my thing, and I don't think it's yours either. I obviously failed to effectively communicate that. I hope we can meet one day. I think we'd probably get along. This apology, it's bad. It's not good. I saw the responses to it on Twitter, and it's not good, because here's the thing. Being a woman who takes down other women is absolutely not my thing, and I don't think it's yours either, is guilt-tripping Chrissy Teigen for calling her out. This is saying, like, well, I don't want to tear other women down. Do you? Is that why you're talking about it? Because you want to tear people down? It doesn't matter what Chrissy wants to do. It really doesn't, because she was upset by something you said. And I'm not a Chrissy Teigen stan. I'm kind of neutral about her. I don't like her. I don't hate her. She's whatever, she's doing her own thing. Good for her. But this is not okay. To call somebody out, to say negative things about their business. Yeah, at the end she's saying, oh, who's laughing now because Chrissy made a ton of money. But you're still saying that you don't think her content is genuine or good or something you would aspire to. And if you don't aspire to it, that's fine. But why do you have to tear what she's done down in order to say what you want, if that makes sense? And then at the end, I hope we can meet one day. I think we'd probably get along. You don't need that in an apology. You say, hey, I shouldn't have said that. That was wrong, and I understand why it's upsetting. I didn't think about it in the moment. That was really my bad, and I'm really sorry. That's all it's got to be. If it wasn't your intention to tear someone down, because you can have your own opinion on her business in your head, but you don't have to say it out loud. So if she really wasn't thinking about it, she didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal, just say, like, I'm sorry, this was on me. This was a rude thing to say, and I hope you forgive me. Or I'm asking for your forgiveness, because Chrissy doesn't have to forgive her. On Friday, Teigen responded to Roman's claim that she was operating a content farm, writing, "This is a huge bummer and hit me hard. I have made her recipes for years now, bought the cookbook, supported her on social, and praised her in interviews. I even signed on to executive produce the very show she talks about doing in this article." The Cravings author went on to defend her culinary website, which shares the same name as her popular cookbooks, explaining that she launched her business as something independent from her husband, John Legend's projects. She also said, "I started Cravings because I wanted something for myself. I wanted something John didn't buy. I wanted something to do that calmed me, made me happy, and made others happy too. Cravings isn't a machine or farmed content. It's me and 2 other women," she wrote. "I didn't sell out by making my dreams come true, to have a cookware line, to get to be a part of that process start to finish, to see something go from sketch to in my hands. I love that," Teigen continued. "To see that thing in my hand being used by people around the world makes me so happy. Watching a company grow makes me happy. I get joy from it, and lots of people do." The Chrissy's Court star added that she genuinely loved everything about Alison and made and shared countless recipes created by Roman in the past, tweeting, "I don't think I've ever been so bummed out by the words of a fellow food lover. I just had no idea I was perceived that way, by her especially." Teigen also addressed Roman's comment about Marie Kondo, whom Roman claimed had decided to capitalize on her fame and sold out. What else are you supposed to do? I don't get this idea of, like, selling out, because I get like having your ideals and living in integrity, and you absolutely should do that. But capitalizing on success that you've previously had is not a bad thing. And if you're doing it with integrity, if you are saying, these are my morals, this is what's important to me, this is what I hold sacred, there's nothing wrong with capitalizing on success and using that success that you had to take you further, to get more opportunities. It sounds like jealousy to me, to be completely honest. She capitalized on her fame and sold out. What? It really just sounds like to me she's jealous of these two women whom, as many people have pointed out, aren't white, that are having this massive success and growing these large-scale businesses. And even if you've never read the book, people are saying, oh, Marie Kondo, it does it spark joy? Like, you know who she is, even if you've never read her book. Chrissy, you know who she is, even if you don't like her, even if you've never made a recipe of hers, even if you've never watched a TV show she's been on. You know who she is. They're household names. I've never heard of Alison Roman in my life. I looked through tweets about her. Looks like she makes some really great recipes, and maybe she really does actually want a bit more fame and a bit more notoriety and to make money, which is okay. It's okay to want money. But this is not the way to get people to like you the way that, I mean, not everybody likes Chrissy Teigen, but she has a very loyal, dedicated following. And so does Marie. So I feel like there's some underlying jealousy that she's not expressing in the most healthy way. But that's just an outsider's take. Marie is awesome, Teigen wrote before sharing her feelings after reading Roman's interview. It has been crappy to deal with this all day, but I couldn't not say something. I know the actual tears I put into the work I do, and it's really hard to see someone try to completely invalidate it, someone I really liked. There are many days I cry very hard because Cravings, the site, is our baby we love to pump content onto. We do this work ourselves, and there is no monetary gain yet. It is just work, 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 and the reward is you liking it. So to be called a sellout, whoo, it hurts, Teigen added. The farm you think of doesn't exist. I am the farm. I am the cows, the horses, the pigs, she quipped. Anyhow, now that that's out there, I guess we should probably unfollow each other at Alison Roman. Roman later clarified her remarks in a separate tweet, though she did not specifically address Teigen or Kondo by name. I want to clarify, I am not coming for anyone who's successful, especially not women, she wrote. I was trying to clarify that my business model does not include a product line, which work very well for some, but I don't see working for me. Then say that. I mean, I understand being put on the spot sometimes, or being nervous in an interview and saying something wrong, or it didn't come out right, that's not what I meant, but I know how it sounded. People make mistakes. People say things incorrectly all the time. You should see what I cut out of my videos. But to go as far as to pull two specific examples of Marie and Chrissy, it's just not cool. You know, that was more work than you saying, oh yeah, I know lots of people who have product lines, but that's not really where I see myself going. It's not something I'm passionate about. That's it. That's all it would take. That's so much simpler than actually going out of your way to mention those two people. And just so we're clear with what Alison said, because you could say like, oh, well, maybe the interviewer asked her about Chrissy. Maybe the interviewer asked her about Marie. Let me just go ahead and read the excerpt from the interview for you so you know exactly how it happened. You don't have to go through the whole interview. I'll just tell you the part where this happened, because up to this point, no names of either of these two women were brought up. So the interviewer says, do you think about, they're talking about, you know, where's she going to go? What's she going to do? What's her big vision for her brand and for how she's going to kind of get her name out there and get more well known? She has sold a TV show that she's not filming right now because of obvious reasons, but once this is over, they are going to start production on a TV show that she sold for herself. Okay? The interviewer asks, do you think about products or putting your name on a restaurant? She says, I have a collaboration coming out with the cookware startup Material, a capsule collection. It's limited edition, a few tools that I designed that are based on tools that I use that aren't in production anywhere. Vintage spoons and very specific things that are one-offs that I found at antique markets that they have made for me. That would have to be done in such a specific way under very intense standards, and I would not ever want to put anything out into the world that I wouldn't be so excited to use myself. Also, I love my Le Creuset Dutch oven. I don't need to make a Dutch oven. I love my restaurant supply sheet pans. I don't need to make a sheet pan. I love my fish spatula that comes from the baking company. I don't need to make my own. The interviewer says, there's a fine line between consumption and pollution, right? She says, I think that's why I really enjoy what I do, because you're making something but it goes away. Like the idea that when Marie Kondo decided to capitalize on her fame and make stuff that you can buy, that is completely anti-ethical to everything she's ever taught you. I'm like, bitch, you just sold out immediately. Someone's like, you should make some stuff, and she's like, okay, slap my name on it. I don't give a shit. That's the thing. You don't need a ton of equipment in your kitchen to make great food. For the low, low price of $19.99, please to buy my cutting board. Like, no, find the stuff that you love and buy it. Support businesses and makers. It feels so greedy. Unless something just simply didn't exist that I wish existed, but that would make me an inventor, which I'm not. Is that racist? Please to buy my cutting board. I don't know if that's like a phrase, if that's like a common thing, like please to buy this, or if she's literally making fun of Marie Kondo. Let me know if you've like heard the phrase used that way before. But you can sell things without having clutter. You know, like you can sell things without supporting clutter. You can buy things to replace old things that you had and still make it work. You can get rid of things that you don't love and still buy new things. I don't get it. I really don't get why she just brought her up right off the bat. But continuing on. There's just too much stuff in the world. I want so much less stuff in my life, and I don't want to contribute to that. And maybe that's a poor business decision because I'm sure one day I could make money off it, but I'm more interested in finding a cool glass blower or a ceramicist that I love and doing a collaboration. Like what Chrissy Teigen has done is so crazy to me. She had a successful cookbook, and then it was like, boom, line at Target, boom. Now she has an Instagram page that has over 1 million followers where it's just like people running a content farm for her. That horrifies me, and it's not something that I ever want to do. I don't aspire to that, but like, who's laughing now because she's making a ton of money? I'm more interested in expanding myself as a writer. My next book is going to be narrative nonfiction, essays, and short stories and stuff. Books are wasteful. They use paper and they kill trees, so I thought you were anti-consumer. But you're going to make a book. Okay. To me, the only way that I can continue to differentiate myself from the pod of people that write recipes or cookbooks or whatever is by doing a different thing. And so I have to figure out what that is, and I think that I haven't ultimately nailed that, and I'm in the process of figuring it out right now. There's an editor note. Editor's note from May 9th. After publication, Alison asked me to remove one word from this interview. 2, that she thought might be misinterpreted. Late in our conversation, she used a comedic voice to conjure what sounds like a tacky infomercial pitch. For the low, low price of $19.99, please to buy my cutting board. I put the line in quotes to highlight the emphasis. I agreed to remove the word as I did not want it to be misinterpreted, considering readers lacked the spoken context of what she said or how she said it. Further, the piece is not a verbatim transcript of our conversation. It has been edited for clarity and length, which I noted in the introduction. I did not know at the time that the specific quote was becoming a topic of conversation. After my edit, Alison explained the reference on Twitter. She says it's a reference to an Eastern European cookbook called Please to the Table and an inside joke with friends. I want to set the record unequivocally straight. Alison was not mocking an Asian accent when she said that to me, and any claim that she was is incorrect. In the interest of transparency, I have returned the line to its original published wording and will point you to Alison's tweet for context. It was never my intent to hide anything or magnify controversy by editing the line, and I am grateful for the thoughtful replies from many readers. It's a good reminder that things don't actually disappear on the internet. Gotcha. Okay, so I'm not the only one who was like, hold on, is that racist? Like, that was very bold of her. So glad we have some clarification on that, but it seemed unnecessary to call these women out like that. You could have just said, no, I don't want to create a product line. That's not where I envision my business going. She made a problem where there didn't need to be one, but that's how everything problematic happens, is someone making a problem where there didn't need to be one. So that's all I've got for our news stories today. I would love to hear your opinion on the stories below. Feel free to leave me a comment and we can have a chat about all of your opinions. And while you are doing that, if you would consider liking this video or subscribing to my channel or joining my membership on my channel for $1.99 per month, that would be incredible. And if you have subscribed or joined already, thank you so much. I am so appreciative of you, and I love being able to just sit here, hang out, and talk about whatever. With all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Thank you so much for watching. Please be kind to people, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.